Imagine I told you this. Just 1/10 of a Bitcoin could completely change your financial life in 2025. Not a full Bitcoin, not millions of dollars, just a tiny fraction 0.1 BTC. At first glance, it seems like nothing, but that fraction could be the line between those who merely watch from the sidelines and those who actually own a piece of the rarest financial network ever created by humanity. Most people instantly shrug it off. What's the point if I can't afford a whole Bitcoin? But the truth is, the future won't ask how much you wanted to own. It will ask how much you actually secured. And by the time the rest of the world realizes this, the doors will already be shut tight. Here's the part almost everyone overlooks when they hear about Bitcoin. It's not infinite. The maximum supply is 21 million coins. No exceptions, no additional issuances, no money printer, like with traditional currencies. Now imagine dividing those 21 million coins into slices of 0.1 BTC each. That gives us 210 million pieces. It sounds like a big number, right? But look wider, there are already more than 8 billion people on the planet. If everyone tried to own just 1/10 of a Bitcoin, there wouldn't even be enough for 3% of humanity. The remaining 97% wouldn't get even a fraction. And that's just the beginning. Not all of those 21 million coins are truly available. Millions of Bitcoins are gone forever. Lost passwords, burned hard drives, forgotten wallets. The real circulating supply is far smaller. Now add another layer. There are over 120 million millionaires worldwide. If each of them decided to buy just one full Bitcoin, there wouldn't be enough to satisfy even half of them. And even if they lowered their goal to 0.1 Bitcoin each, the supply would still fall short. And that's before you even count the companies, funds, and governments already entering the market. The reality is simple but unforgiving. Scarcity is written into the code. When you hold 0.1 Bitcoin, you're not just holding a string of numbers. You're holding a digital seat in the rarest financial arena ever created. And with every passing day, the competition for those seats gets fiercer, while the number of available slices keeps shrinking. The biggest mistake people make when they first hear about Bitcoin is that they only look at the price. They see the numbers $60,000, $70,000, $100,000 and immediately think, all right, this isn't for me. I could never afford a whole coin. And that's where it ends. They walk away, never realizing that the real opportunity was right in front of them. But here's the truth. You don't need a whole Bitcoin to change your future. You don't have to invest a huge amount all at once. This isn't a lottery or a casino. It's a slow, steady process, a plan built on patience and discipline. That's where the strategy called dollar cost averaging, or simply DCA, comes in. The idea is simple. You don't try to guess the perfect moment to buy. You just buy consistently, little by little, week after week, or month after month. For example, you might decide to invest $20 a week, or $50, or maybe $200 a month. The amount doesn't matter as much as the consistency. When the price drops, your dollars automatically buy more Satoshis. When the price rises, you buy fewer Satoshis, but you keep stacking anyway. Over time, your average cost balances out, and you stop depending on the market's ups and downs. The power of this strategy isn't in math, it's in discipline. Most people lose not because they chose the wrong asset, but because they quit too early or try to time the bottom. But the market doesn't wait for anyone. While some are hesitating, trying to guess, others are quietly building. Let's make it concrete. Imagine someone invests just $100 a week consistently for 5 years. That's about $26,000 total. At today's volatility, by the end of that period, they could already have around 0.1 Bitcoin or even more if part of their buying happened during price dips. And all that without gambling, without panic, without guessing. Just a methodical plan that works if you have 3 things: patience, consistency, and trust in your own decisions. With DCA, you don't have to predict the future. You're not competing with Wall Street. You're simply entering the game and staying long enough for the math to do the work for you. That's why 0.1 Bitcoin isn't a fantasy, it's an achievable goal. For those who act with consistency, even small steps add up to something big. Bitcoin doesn't reward the smartest or the richest. It rewards those who understand one simple truth: that time always works for the patient. When people talk about Bitcoin, most assume its scarcity is something abstract. Yes, it's limited, but is that really such a big deal? In reality, it's everything. Time is the biggest enemy of those who hesitate. Every day you do nothing, there are fewer bitcoins left to own. On paper, the supply is capped at 21 million. But in practice, it's far less. Research shows that up to 30% of all mined coins are lost forever. Not sold, not hidden, just gone. Hard drives thrown away, passwords forgotten, wallets locked beyond recovery. That means instead of 21 million, the real circulating supply might be closer to 14-16 million coins. And out of that number, a massive portion isn't even available on exchanges. They're stored in cold wallets, personal vaults of long-term holders who have no intention of selling, no matter what happens. For them, Bitcoin isn't a trading asset. It's digital property. Something like land, gold, or fine art. They don't trade, they own. And the more people who adopt this mindset, the less Bitcoin remains in circulation. Now, look at the other side of the equation, new supply. Every 4 years, the Bitcoin network cuts mining rewards in half. This event is called the halving. Once upon a time, miners earned 50 BTC per block. Now, it's just a fraction of that. By 2032, new Bitcoins will be so rare that their inflow will almost disappear. What does this mean in practice? It means you're no longer competing with other buyers. You're competing with time itself. Every day, more wallets are lost. Every cycle, fewer new coins are created. Every year, more investors, funds, and corporations enter the market, all trying to claim their piece of a shrinking pie. In this race, time is the decisive factor. Hesitation isn't just a missed opportunity. It's the shrinking of access to an asset that's disappearing in real time. That's why owning 0.1 Bitcoin in 2025 isn't about dreams. It's about awareness. While some keep saying it's too late, others are quietly securing their place in the history of digital money. Bitcoin isn't a story about something that will become rare someday. It's already rare. Each lost wallet, each halving, each purchased fraction reduces the chances for everyone else, and those waiting for the perfect dip don't realize. With every block mined, they're not losing the price, they're losing access. Bitcoin was once seen as a toy for geeks, idealists, and risk takers. In the beginning, it was nothing more than an experiment, internet money for people brave enough to try something new. Most of the financial world laughed. Banks, funds, economists, they all called it a passing bubble, a digital fad with no real future. But if you look at 2025, the picture is completely different. Today, the same network that was once ignored has become a magnet for the largest financial institutions on the planet. BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, and dozens of other giants are no longer standing on the sidelines. They're launching Bitcoin ETFs, exchange-traded funds that allow billions of dollars to flow into the crypto market with just a few clicks. What once required technical know-how, private wallets, keys, and manual transactions is now neatly packaged into traditional financial products. And it's no longer just retail investors putting in $100 at a time. It's pension funds, insurance companies, and global corporations buying in by the billions. And that's only the beginning. The story doesn't stop on Wall Street, it's now spreading to governments. Some countries have started mining Bitcoin themselves, building national reserves of digital gold. Others are quietly adding Bitcoin to their sovereign reserves as protection against geopolitical risk. Many have even stated openly that they don't plan to sell their holdings because they understand that owning digital assets is now a matter of national security and influence. Why are they doing this? Because the world has already seen what happens when traditional reserves can be frozen or confiscated. Remember 2022, when major global powers froze over $300 billion in Russian assets overnight? In that moment, the illusion of neutral money vanished. Every government and every central bank came to the same conclusion. If your assets can be frozen, they don't truly belong to you. And this is where Bitcoin breaks the system. It doesn't follow orders. It can't be frozen or censored. It doesn't require permission from foreign powers. It's borderless, incorruptible, and protected by code, not politics. Now imagine an arena where there are only 210 million slices of 0.1 BTC, and not just private investors are entering, but pension funds, corporations, and even nations. Every slice they claim is one less available for ordinary people. And this isn't theory, it's happening right now. Every new share bought by an institution tightens the space for you, for me, for everyone still waiting on the sidelines. This is the new financial reality of 2025. If you already hold even 0.1 Bitcoin, you're ahead not just of random retail investors, but of trillion-dollar funds and entire governments that are only now waking up to the fact that time is running out. To truly understand why even 0.1 Bitcoin makes sense in 2025, you need to compare it to the money you use every day. Dollars, euros, korunas, pesos, yen. At first glance, these currencies seem reliable. They're familiar, they're accepted everywhere, they're issued by governments, backed by banks and laws. But beneath that stable surface lies a simple truth. They're designed to lose value over time. That's not a bug, it's a feature. Every central bank in the world targets inflation, usually around 2% per year. In other words, their goal is to make your money worth less each year. If today $1,000 buys you a certain amount of goods, next year it'll buy you less, even if nothing else changes. And in reality, it's often worse than it looks on paper. Groceries rise faster, rent and housing rise faster, healthcare and education keep climbing, while your salary struggles to keep up. Look at the facts. Over the last 50 years, the US dollar has lost more than 85% of its purchasing power. If your grandparents had saved $1 in the 1970 seconds, today it would buy less than 15 cents worth of goods. That's not bad luck, that's how the system is built. And it's not just the dollar. The Argentine peso, Turkish lira, Venezuelan bolivar all have collapsed under the same pressure. Governments printing money they don't really have. Every new dollar, euro or peso created makes all the others, including yours, slightly less valuable. Imagine a bucket with holes in it. No matter how much water you pour in, it always leaks out. That's fiat money. Bitcoin flips this system upside down. It doesn't inflate. It can't be printed. It doesn't depend on politicians or central banks. There will only ever be 21 million coins forever. No exceptions. No new supply. It's scarcity written in code. Predictability. You can verify with math, not promises. If fiat currency is like running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up, no matter how hard you run, you never move forward. Then Bitcoin is like a vault where your hard work doesn't evaporate. When you hold 0.1 Bitcoin, you're not just investing. You're protecting yourself from a system that quietly drains the results of your labor. It's not just an asset, it's a shield against inflation, manipulation, and devaluation. And when millions around the world finally realize that, 0.1 Bitcoin won't be just a fraction anymore. It'll be a privilege. Everything we've talked about so far isn't theory. It's already happening. Coins are being lost. The next halving is approaching. Institutions are taking their seats. And time, as always, moves forward without pauses, without breaks, without regret. Now the choice is yours. Not a philosophical one, not hypothetical. A real, tangible decision. Will you be an observer or an owner? Because one day, and that day isn't far off, owning Bitcoin won't be a matter of desire. It will be a privilege, simply because there will be no new coins, no extra seats, no next round. The system is closed forever. 21 million and not a single one more. Every 10th, every 100th, every tiny fraction is a ticket into an ecosystem owned by a very small few. And here's the question that should stay in your mind. How much longer can you afford to wait? Because every day you delay isn't just a missed profit opportunity, it's the loss of access. When the music stops, no new chairs will be added. And those who already have their seats won't be getting up. If you think 0.1 Bitcoin is too little, remember, scarcity isn't measured in zeros, it's measured in access. Those who can say, I own even a small part of it, will stand on the other side of financial history. The future won't ask why you didn't buy more. It'll ask, did you buy it all? And if your answer is no, I waited, that will be the answer to why you were left outside, while others built the next generation of wealth. Bitcoin isn't about wealth for wealth's sake. It's about ownership of yourself. The right to control your money without middlemen or politicians. It's not just a technology, it's a symbol of an era where trust is replaced by math and power by code. You can watch, you can argue, you can wait for the price to drop. But in this game, the reward doesn't go to the smartest or the fastest. It goes to those who acted while everyone else hesitated. So ask yourself honestly, 10 years from now, will you say, I made it in time, or I missed it? Because once the window of opportunity closes, there won't be a second chance, no new coins, no extra chairs. Only scarcity fixed forever. And those who are already inside, they won't leave. Thanks for watching till the end. If this helped you see things differently, drop a like, subscribe, and don't miss your chance to be ahead of the rest.